Morning guys, how we doing? Welcome to the show, the morning show. Boom. So how's it going? Friday vibes. Looking forward to the weekend, man. Definitely been a busy week. It's been a fucking crazy week, to be honest. Listen, if you're listening on podcast, I need you to do me a massive favour. Please do leave a comment for me and leave a rating for the podcast. If you're watching on this video, what I want you to do is hit the like button, the big blue fucking thumb button, introduce yourself, tell me that you're here. It'd be great to interact with you. And also, if you are interested in joining us in the Brotherhood, we've just knocked off £134 off our 12-week programme, right? So it's £97 for fucking 90 days in the Brotherhood. And if you're not like a machine by the end of that, well-oiled machine, then I'll give you your money back. That is guaranteed, as long as you put the commitment in. So listen, I'm going to talk about why you are out of shape. Why you are fucking struggling. Matt, how was jiu-jitsu? Let me know. And why you're struggling for fitness and mindset and mental well-being. And I just want to talk about the bigger picture, because obviously the likelihood is that you are overweight, carrying a bit of extra dad timber. You got the old dad bod, because the problem is that obviously you're eating too much. No, that's the simple thing, right? Eating too much, not moving enough, not focusing on yourself. Those things are common sense. They're the things that we know that we're doing. Okay, we're emotionally drinking, we're emotionally eating. Okay, we can't be fucked to go and do a workout because we're just making excuses left, right and centre. And pretty much you're probably a lazy fuck. I mean, look, let's not beat around the bush. That is the truth. Every time I say it to somebody, they go, well, yep, that's pretty much it. And it's not that you're lazy by habit. It's not that you're lazy by because you want to be lazy. It's just you've got into lazy habits. You know, the ease. Sometimes I think we like the route of least existence, right? And I think that ends up being come home, walk through the door. You just look at fucking the sofa and you're like, fuck this, and go and sit on the sofa, right? And you sit on that sofa and you're sitting there and you're suddenly feeling guilty and you're scrolling through Instagram and Facebook and you should have been like, fuck it, I should have gone for that workout. Give me another beer, babe. And then you start cracking another beer. Monday, I'm fucking going to change my ways. When really, you know, that's bullshit. So, listen, the bigger picture about why you are there. And I think a lot of this comes from, there's a few points here we're going to make. There's a few points. And the first one being for me is that you're chronically burnt out in life. All right. So the bigger picture is that you are just fucking burnt out. When you have kids, you suddenly fucking heap a ton of pressure on yourself, and everything fucking stops. Everything stops when you have kids. You know, you want to be a dad. You're going to get involved in being a dad, but then because your partner's looking after baby, you are the only breadwinner. Morning, Hayley, how are you doing? You're the only breadwinner, so you feel that pressure. That pressure. It's the type of pressure you feel when you get to the bottom of the ocean and you explode. All right, you're feeling that pressure, so you're working fucking hard to make sure you're not getting fucking fired or made redundant, or you're making sure that your business is thriving, so you're bringing in money to support you and your children. Okay. I get that, and I do understand that. And you're coming home, you're working long hours, you're having to deal with knobheads around you, you're having to deal with bosses who expect the world of you, you're having to deal with customers that are wasting your time, you have lots to deal with all the time, responsibilities, bills to pay, and that chronic burnout is just exhausting because you feel fried out. It's like a piece of electrical equipment that's just shorted out and now it sparks out and doesn't work. And that's almost like your brain, because your brain is just constantly thinking, mental, recycle, all of the time. And the way that it copes is by emotionally eating and emotionally drinking, because the drinking makes you forget the chronic burnout and puts you into this like dream world where you think that everything's going to be okay. And it relaxes you and you kind of, you know when people smoke a fag, it kind of relaxes them. I can see when people smoke cigarettes, they're almost in this tranquil place where they're like, oh, yeah, that's better. And that's the same when you have a beer. But the problem is you can't control just having one beer. there's got to be at least 4 beers in one night, maybe 3 or 4 times a week. And then having a takeaway every now and then on date night is not enough. We go super sabotage and we fucking completely destroy ourselves, putting on body fat, putting on weight, and that adds to our pain, right? Another theory, I know another one is struggling emotionally. Things with like PTSD, anxiety issues, depression, just from things that have happened in your past, traumas, poor upbringing. So now you're struggling mentally right now. And just because you have either been diagnosed with anxiety, depression or PTSD doesn't mean that you have a label. You're not labelled. And I think that's the first thing to understand, because I think a lot of people feel that they are labelled. And I speak to a lot of people with PTSD. A lot of people, guys. Fucking loads. Haven't been there myself. And suddenly when you are told or diagnosed that you have PTSD, okay, or you have anxiety or you have depression, if you consistently think those negative thoughts, oh, I've got PTSD, oh, I've got anxiety, I've got depression, rather than thinking, right, I've been diagnosed with this, I'm going to do my utmost fucking best to get out of this rut, to get out of this. Because I think sometimes a lot of people feel that they're labelled and feel that they have to stay in that place when they don't. And it's a very hard place to be, and that's where I was. Like, when I had it and when I struggled with all that, I was like, well, if I've got this, I'm just dealing with it, I'm coping with it, rather than thriving for life. I spoke to a guy yesterday who's just been diagnosed with PTSD. And I said, the problem is that you've been diagnosed with PTSD, okay, and he was going, my head's just not in the right place. And I convinced him to go for a bike ride. He'd come back and he felt fucking amazing. So you see, in his head, in his brain, he was diagnosed with PTSD. So straight away that he felt that his head wasn't in the right place to do anything about it. Well, that's just the way that he consistently thought. That was he resorted to that way of thinking, right? All of the time, because he apparently had this label. And I said to him, you're not a label. You're a human being. Your brain can function however it wants to function. All you have to do is accept that it's going to be uncomfortable, accept that it's going to be very difficult. And that's the same with anxiety and depression. We stay in those states because you feel that you have to, because you feel you've been labelled. When that's fucking bullshit, because your brain in your head, you can do whatever you want. Like, in theory, you could do whatever you want. Yeah, sure, you might not be happy about going for a run or going to the gym or trying to improve yourself or trying to plan. Sure, it might be difficult. It's difficult. It is difficult. But if you consistently use that to hold you back and say, no, I'm not fucking doing it because my head's not in the right place, then you will always have that mindset. Unless someone comes along and says to you, fella, get your fucking ass up, let's go on this 5-mile run, whether you like it or not, whether it's going to be difficult or not, whether your head's in the right place or not, it's going to clear your brain. Because actually we are, in theory, one big bag of chemicals. And funnily enough, the way that our body reacts, Digby, Jesse, come here. I haven't heard from them in ages. The way that our body reacts is that if we do some form of action, the chemicals of our body are going to react positively. So instead of feeling so negative, it's going to make us feel a little bit more positive. And yesterday, the guy that I made go for a bike ride, the cloud lifted for a second to see, wow, look what I just fucking achieved. He hadn't done anything in 2 years, and I managed to convince the guy to get up and get out, all right? So that's another thing. That's another, good boy, where's Jesse? Another big part of the bigger picture of why we're overweight, okay? Because we just let those things overwhelm us and our mentality be completely swamped with negativity, all right? And pain. And I know it's not that I think that you can't move on. I understand that there have been traumas and stuff that have got you to those points, some horrific things. So some of the things guys I've spoken to this week have gone through some really tragic events, okay, in my 5-day challenge. But equally, those same guys are still here and still fighting for life, and have still signed up for 5-day challenge to improve themselves. So I know that in there are some positivity glimmers. that they can clutch on, that they can pull them out of that rut. It's that rope, it's that ladder that gets them out of that rut and that trench. All right? Bigger pictures, okay? So things like people saying I don't have time. Fucking hell, I'll tell you what, I'm going to start choking people out that say that. It's not that you don't have time, it's just that you don't prioritise your time. 20 minutes out of a 24-hour day to spend on yourself. Another bigger part of the picture is you're not fucking listening. There are 105 people in my challenge that signed up last week. 105. 35 have engaged and have got something out of the week. 35 have all those. And all those other people are just not prepared to help themselves. You are not prepared to help yourself. And that's the problem. Because what we do, people like me in my profession, we take you to the fucking water, but some of you will drink and some of you won't. And that's my biggest frustration in this industry, is that so many people are fucking struggling and so many people are fucking ignoring the way out. It frustrates the life out of me. Honestly, it literally, you ask my missus, it's the one thing that fucking frustrates me. It's a pure, like, annoyance that people are not listening of how to improve themselves, yet complaining daily that they are not in a great place. God, I can feel it winding me up now. Only a very small percentage of people will be able to do it by themselves. Okay, only a small percentage will be able to do it by themselves. Okay. Without accountability, most journeys end up being 1 week to 2 weeks because they're overwhelmed, they don't know where to go, they give up. Just give up. And then they go back to that life. Like, you know, if your car broke down, you'd take it to mechanic. You wouldn't try to fix it yourself because you don't know fucking how to do it. If your body's breaking down and your mind, surely you would take it to somebody that can help you rather than trying to do it yourself. Somebody who's been there, has trained in that area, has experience in that area. Okay, the least you would do is listen to what they're saying so that you can change your life. All the advice I give is free on these live feeds, on the podcast, okay? It's free. The only difference is between the people that are my clients and the people that aren't, are the people in my clients have got no choice to do it because I won't fucking give them any other way out. Because that's what my job is, to make sure that they're accountable. To be successful, all you would have to do is go and listen to all 209 podcasts that I've put out. Every single one of them will give you a tip, guidance, direction of about how to change your life. But the reason you won't do it is because you're not prepared to put the work in. It doesn't apply to all of you, so don't get your knickers in a twist. But it applies to a large percentage of people out there. And the funny thing is, the people won't even be listening to it because they'll be so stuck in their own rut and they'll be stuck in their own routine that they won't move forwards. I've gone way over time here. Yeah, look at that. Right, guys, so I'm going to finish up here. So these are just external factors. You know, think about the bigger picture of why you are overweight, why you are struggling. Vaughan, you will smash that to defeat diabetes, dude. You've got the right mentality. You've got the right mindset, dude. Okay? Think largely about the rest of your life rather than just why you're eating and drinking so much. The reasons why you're drinking and eating so much. You can't stay in that state forever. Well, you can. If that's the way you want to live your life, then crack on. But if you want a better life, you want to, improve the way that you look, you've got to fucking make some changes, all right? Otherwise, you're going to stay the same. Some truth bombs there for Friday morning. Have a great day. Please remember to just drop her a little review on the podcast. All you do is scroll down, right down. You'll see it says review and some stars. Be honest, and I'll catch you soon.